for today's cup of coffee. It's like, folks over there on Odyssey, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I had been uploading the same video more than once. I don't know that I did. Now, I know that I'm on the verge of cracking up. I truly do know that. But I don't know what happened. So, Grey Death, I appreciate you sitting there going, it's deja vu. You've heard it. I'm like, what? So, anyhow.
And did you?
I don't know.
Which one was it?
I don't know. I had to go back and look. I think one of them was about it may have been where we went shopping at Michael's the other day. Not sure. But it's okay to watch them over. You may miss stuff the first time.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff. Because you may see something in the story you're like, I can't live without that.
Right.
This one, I could have lived without. I really could have. This comes from The Mirror, and it's by Alahna Kindred, September 1st, 2022. Winnie the Pooh to become horror film.
What?
After copyright of classic tale expires.
What? Yes! Yes!
Totally lived without this one.
Yes!
And it says, the childhood
Thank you, God! You answered one of my prayers!
That thing did not come from God, I tell you that. The childhood classic Winnie the Pooh is going to be made into a horror film.
Yes!
And Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey was announced after the copyright for the famous character ended. This means that filmmakers are now legally free to use the works of author A.A. Milne for inspiration. Now director Bryce Waterfield has adapted the characters for a new film. The trailer for the upcoming film has been released after announcing it in May. In the trailer, a grown-up Christopher Robin returns to the 100-acre wood after abandoning it when he grew out of it. While he was gone, Pooh and Piglet became resentful and are now hungry for blood. Mr. Waterfield, who also wrote and co-produced the film, said in an interview with Variety magazine that he would look to get the film, quote, through past production as fast as we can after receiving a strong response to its first trailer, end quote.
Yes.
He also described how Winnie the Pooh and Piglet would be, quote, the main villains going on a rampage, end quote,
If y'all make it PG-13, just like you did Slender, I'm gonna wring some necks.
Okay, it says that he said, quote, because they've had to fend for themselves so much, they've essentially become feral.
Yeah.
So they've gone back to their animal roots. They're no longer tamed. They're like a vicious bear and pig who want to go around and try and find prey, end quote.
But wait, weren't they stuffed animals?
Yes, they were stuffed animals. They were stuffed animals.
They were part of his imagination.
The trailer for the film is rated R, which means viewers should be aged above 18 to watch it. While creators are free to use the original works of the author, Disney still owns the rights to the cartoon versions of Winnie the Pooh. Disney got the rights from the Milne estate in 1961, so any elements that were created by Disney cannot be used without permission. Mr. Waterfield added that the makers of the film have been extremely careful not to infringe on copyright laws. I bet they were.
Yeah.
Going up against Disney on that.
God,
yeah, right.
Have a huge ass lawsuit on your hands.
Sued them.
They're just as bad as Nintendo.
And he said that they did as much as they could to only use what was from Milne's original book. For example, the film's depiction of Winnie the Pooh does not wear a red t-shirt because that element was created by Disney.
So then what does he wear?
I don't know. I didn't watch the trailer.
Who else knows Winnie the Pooh other than, like, a red shirt?
Well,
what did Winnie the Pooh have in the original things?
You know what? I don't remember. I don't know that he had a little shirt on or not.
Was he just naked?
He was he was a teddy bear.
A naked teddy bear.
And it's like, this is, I have a lot of
like
mixed
Squidward.
really of mixed emotions about the possibility of them doing this. There's certain things. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
Oh, I'm excited.
Now, if they were going to do something like this, I think they should have used Barney. Now, that one I could have got behind.
Barney. They could have made literally the fan fiction Day of the Barney. They could have turned that into a whole ass horror movie. Barney's cult. Children killing their parents.
Oh, God.
And then the female children being used to birth the dinosaur monster things.
Okay, God help. I don't know.
And then the males are like killed once they hit 13, or it was either 16 or 13.
And I was actually joking about the Barney thing. That was my first resentment as a parent because the damn things cost so much. But there's been movies about killer toys and stuff for forever.
Yeah.
But why use some of these beloved characters?
Mom, people make horror versions of the Disney characters. Like, people made a zombie Ariel. People with Beauty and the Beast. Belle was like torn to shreds, but she still alive somehow.
Reassembled herself or something?
No,
it's like reanimate or coffee slurping.
No, she had like a couple scratches on her or whatever, a couple claw marks, but I'm guessing like the Beast is now like her sidekick pet or whatever, and she's the villain or whatever. I can't remember what happened to Snow White.
Well, I mean, I can see that more than Winnie the Pooh. And I tell you, that's just like the killer Santa Claus things. And it's like, why? Why?
Jack Frost.
Well, no, Jack Frost is different. I mean, that really was that the killer snowman or whatever it was? I never did watch those. But there's some things, just leave them alone.
Ginger Dead Man.
Well, now the Ginger Dead Man, I can see that.
Ginger Dead Man versus the Evil Bong.
Oh, God.
That's a movie.
That's
an actual movie.
Yeah. But, Grimm's fairy tales, they were not Disney-fied. I think they should have left those alone.
I don't even think they were his original stories either.
And they were a collection.
And they were tame. Like, he tamed them down. The original stories were actually more gruesome than those.
Well, what the Grimm brothers did, they went around and they collected these tales and stories and stuff like that. And so this was the time that these people lived in. And so a lot of stuff did happen. If kids wandered out into the woods and stuff, could they have been eaten by animals? Of course. And that's just like, what's a little bit later on. I'm trying to remember what the gentleman's name was that he wrote The Little Matchstick Girl. And The Ugly Duckling. And the original Little Mermaid. I hate that I can't. Hans Christian Andersen. And those were not. Now, The Ugly Duckling had a happy ending. Mm-hmm. The Little Matchstick Girl sure as hell did not have a, Disney-fied ending.
The Little Mermaid did not.
No, not at all.
Turned into sea foam.
Yeah.
Which actually, I don't remember if that was the original. I think her tears were the sea foam, and she just...
Well, it was a matter that mermaids could not cry.
Yeah.
And that was it.
She allowed herself to cry.
I don't know if it was that, but anyhow, she, sort of died in the end. It was one of those unrequited love stories. But Winnie the Pooh, and even as far as Santa and stuff like that, that kids, eventually, somebody they're going to see this somehow, some way, And it's like the period of innocence is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. That concerns me.
Yeah.
But as far as, no, there's so many other things that they could have turned into something gruesome other than Pooh and Piglet.
Why couldn't you have made Eeyore in there? Why couldn't have, where was Eeyore?
Eeyore at this point has probably offed himself from depression. That's exactly right. Tigger's probably, in jail someplace. Coffee slurping.
I like to think that he accidentally bounced himself off a cliff.
I mean, this is the depressive guide to Winnie the Pooh. That would be bad. But I don't know. Like I said, I have a lot of mixed feelings about it.
I'm intrigued. I need to watch the trailer.
Yeah, you'll have to look for that.
Yeah.
And that was like where it took me 2 or 3 days to watch that movie, The Lords of Salem.
Uh-huh. Imagine if Rob Zombie got a hold of Winnie the Pooh.
God. I had no clue. It was a bizarre movie. I started it and I'm like, this is weird. Even by my standards, this is weird. And if it's got
weird.
If it's got incantations and stuff in it, no, I will mute that. I'm not having that spoke in my house. No. And so I went back. It was intriguing. It's sort of, because if I don't like a movie, I have no problem turning it off and going to something else. But this one sort of drew me back in for whatever reason. And so watched a little more on it. And then I think it took me the third try to finish it.
I hated that song.
At the end of it,
that was in it,
to find out that it was a Rob Zombie, and I'm like, well, that made a lot of sense. Now I know why it was so bizarre. And why the character looked like a heroin addict. Not accusing anybody of anything, but, that heroin chic.
I think of
whatever.
Rob Zombie's version of Halloween.
I don't even think I watched that. I don't want to watch that. House of 1,000 Corpses, I was not a fan at all.
You'd stick your head in the fire if I told you could see hell.
I think it was too... He has some really odd filming styles. Now, some of the visuals were good, but it was a lack of cohesion within the story.
I'm interested in seeing his version of the Munsters. Mainly because of Cassandra Peterson. I want to see Cassandra Peterson in it.
It's just...
Elvira.
Now, they've already come out with reviews about that going, no, that he's trying to put too much in one point. And now this one, was it he or was it the director? Whichever. He's not the director. There was another guy, I think, that was the director. That they truly loved the series The Monsters. And that they have just tried to put too much in it. And I don't know. I saw the cast of the new Addams Family, and I'm like, no. I don't even want to see it. It's just like, no.
The new Addams Family, or just the one that's
I think it's on
Wednesday.
Netflix or something like that they were coming out with it. No, it was new.
I mean, there's a new Addams Family movie that's based around Wednesday Addams.
No, that wasn't.
She ends up killing guys in a pool with piranhas. And you can actually see them get killed.
I mean, again, taking these characters that you know and that you love, and that was the thing about the Addams Family.
They weren't ever actually murderous.
No.
So, like, why... That's one thing I did not get. Like, why would you turn them into... Because they were not ever supposed to be murderous. They were just supposed to be dark and spooky.
They were goth.
Yeah.
They were just goth. That's it.
Point blank period. Like,
yeah.
That in my opinion, that sort of
perpetuates.
Yeah, perpetuates the stereotype that goths are dangerous.
Or Satanists or some type of shit like this.
Yeah.
No more so than anybody else in society.
I just see this as another big
stereotype.
Big opportunity for people to throw stones at goths again.
Sure they do. But
Topic is going back to their roots.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to go on the website. But there is some kind of sickness within, well, we've known that there was a sickness within the film industry, but this trying to take away and trying to defile anything that was once pure or wholesome or anything like that. I have a severe problem with that. And it's like, don't mess with Pooh Bear, because that is just...
I liked Winnie the Pooh. I really did.
Right.
But, like, I'm interested in seeing it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not. I mean, it's even like the book that, as far as our backdrop, the Tao of Pooh. If you've not read it, I highly urge you to read it. I need to go back and read it again. It's wonderful. And that was the whole thing about Pooh, that he was very zen. I know it's Taoism, but it's very zen. That he accepted the situation as it was. He made the most of the situation. And then the different characters are defined within there. It's a really good, book. Taoism has got a lot of good points.
When you think about it, they are all, except for Pooh, they are all mental disorders.
Sort of. Kang and Roo were not.
Piglet is anxiety.
Yeah, I could see that.
Eeyore is depression. Tigger is ADHD.
Oh, God, yes. But now Kanga and Roo, they were not any kind of mental disorder. That was just... I mean, it's just like them taking the cartoon that you loved, which was Little Bear.
Yeah.
Little Bear was another one that was just phenomenal.
I love Little Bear. Still love Little Bear.
And to have something that is gentle and just pure and, simple.
Yeah.
Without somebody coming in and ripping it to shreds.
Mm-hmm.
Literally and figuratively. So, do I think that this is a good idea? I really don't. And then, of course, there will be people that'll go out. And I'd say that this probably has the budget of... was the evil bong? I figured that it's going to be like that.
I was going to ask, is it the same quality as fucking Baby Oopsie and all those other...
Baby Oopsie wasn't bad. It really was not.
It had the excuse me bitch woman in it.
Yes.
She is funny.
It actually, of that, I'm trying to remember the company that does that. It's not Full Moon, is it? It's not coming to mind. Is it Full Moon? And that one I had watched, I don't know.
I think it's Full Moon.
It's something like that they make. That's these really cheesy freshman year horror movies that some of them can be amusing, but the Baby Oopsie, I actually liked that one. I had watched that one the other day that it was called Slough, which was a takeoff on Saw. I did not
Did it have any references towards the actual Saw?
Yeah, a few of them.
Okay.
I didn't like the Saw movies because those were very stressful and gruesome. And I actually appreciated this one because where it was just corny and bad, but it was not a bad.
I
It had a bunch of wrestlers in it.
I watched the Scary Movie series. Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2,
Yeah.
where it's like a parody.
The parodies, yeah.
Parody movies.
Yeah, some of those are really good. But there is a difference between a horror movie and a slasher flick.
Yeah.
I have never been much for the slasher stuff. I like something to have a good story to it. Now, there's been some over the past few years that really got to me. Jeepers Creepers, for whatever reason.
Jeepers Creepers.
And that one was a messed up movie.
Jeepers.
The visuals on some of it just, I don't know why, but it...
Where'd you get those eyes?
You really stole out of somebody's head. Like when the kid went down there in that tunnel and it was just lined with corpses sewn together. It was in some ways...
Junji Ito.
That's what I was going to say. In some ways it was reminiscent of Junji Ito.
That story where she literally
that was disturbing.
sewed those people together.
Yeah.
And then eventually... her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Or what was supposed to be her boyfriend.
It was disturbing.
Yeah.
But the Jeepers Creepers.
Where'd you get those peepers?
It was. I actually had to quit watching that one, and I didn't go back to it, even though I had seen it before. It was just like, no, I'm not at that level right now. Let's go on something else.
I was like The Exorcist too. Like, people can't rewatch that movie. Dad refuses to watch that movie.
I don't blame him, and I understand that, because that's why I urge people to read the book rather than the movie, because the movie, of course, it focused on
it was a good movie.
It was a good movie, but what got me the first time I watched the unedited one was not the Linda Blair scenes, it was the blasphemy scenes. And they,
that's what
it
demons
was...
do.
I know that's what they do, but that doesn't mean I want to see it.
Yeah.
And the actual story within that, as far as the priest and stuff, that was just amazing. It's a very insightful novel. It's a very good read. It's not just the drama. It's not, you don't have to worry about the pea soup and all that stuff. It's not sensationalized. So this was when I was doing the Demonology 101 section of life, which went on for months. I'm glad I have been given a reprieve from that. It's amazing how few reports, as far as people who have gone through an exorcism, come out the other end. You've got it from the exorcist point of view. I want to hear from the point of view of somebody who had been possessed. But it's very hard for them to do, because most of them do not remember that period, because they weren't there.
Right.
And you've got to wonder where they were while the demon had taken over.
I would like to think it's like DID and they're shoved in the way back somewhere.
Even with that, there's not shared memory. Of course, with unclean spirit, it's a totally different. So, that's horrific.
Yeah.
The thought of that is horrific.
Yeah.
The thought of defiling Winnie the Pooh is horrific to me. The more I think about it, I'm like, leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
Bloody Gurr.
Well, now, Gurr, of course. So you can see that with Invader Zim easily.
He snuck that into the actual show.
Of course he did.
He snuck it into the intros.
Well, that Invader Zim was not for children.
He wanted seriously, it was not supposed to be on Nickelodeon.
Mm-mm. One of the best animated series ever.
Yeah.
We do Invader Zim references frequently.
Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Yeah. What was the cat with the enormously large head? Who was it that wrote that one? It wasn't Vasquez, was it?
No, that was by the same person who did Lenore.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting stuff.
I love Lenore.
So it's not that we're opposed to different stories and stuff like that. There's just certain ones that are established, that they're sort of cultural icons. Don't mess with them.
Right.
You don't have to mess with it. So, let us know what you think in the comment section. And if you've had experiences with the paranormal, the supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids.
You good?
The what the fuck files. He's pointing a vape at me, and I'm like, what do you want me to do?
I was like, what? Is it smoking or something?
No.
I was just holding it. I wasn't pointing.
If you have local, regional, or family myths or legends, send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And the link for the article and also the email address will be in the description box.
Kiwi passion fruit.
Anyhow.
Guava.
They make me cough.
Kiwi passion fruit guava. It's green.
They'll think that you're trying to
It's not
advertise.
sponsored. It's not sponsored.
Okay.
It's delicious.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Delicious weenies.
Do your thing.
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all. Have a good.
Yeah. Know that you're loved. Know that you're appreciated. Know that there is a place
Yes.
for decency left on the planet somewhere. Seriously.
Someone made a parody of Dora on TikTok.
I don't even.
Hora the Explorer.
Oh, God. Why don't they come up with their own
funny.
stuff? Why
It
don't
was
they come up
funny.
with their own
That was
stuff?
funny.
Again, know that you're loved
Parodies are funny.
and appreciated.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next cup.
Yes.
Bye.
Do Hora.